The recording industry of South Africa, RiSA, announced that the entries for the 2022 South African Music Awards have now been opened. Musicians and artists who are eligible for a summer consideration are invited to submit their body of work. To qualify, music must be released between the 1st of February last year and the 31st of January this year. Now, to share more on the entries this year, we're now joined by SAMA spokesperson Lesley Mofokeng. Lesley, a very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome.
Good morning to you, Cynthia, and viewers at home.
Now, remind us again who is eligible to submit for this year's summers.
Well, the summers are open to any South African musician who has released music from the 1st of February 2021 until the 31st of January 2022. So in other words, even if you still have some music coming out later this month, as long as it's before the 31st, you do qualify to enter.
So what are the artists being judged on?
Well, I mean, when you enter for the summers, there are two streams, if you like. First of all, you submit as an album, and you take minimum of 4 songs. And those songs will qualify for you for one of the category, our album categories. There's over 40 categories that we're looking at. They're all genre specific. And then, so after that, those are the entries, or those are the categories that are entered for. And then we've got public voted categories, where you don't really enter, but you take data and information from platforms like Radio Monitor. Mm-hmm. And then that will give us entries or finalists for categories like Record of the Year, Music Video of the Year, whereas Artist of the Year is fully controlled by the public.
Sure.
But what we're talking about here today and now are category or album categories where we ask our musicians to submit their bodies of work for consideration for a summer in those album categories.
You know, Lesley, over the past few years, there's been, a few artists who chose not to submit their music for a nomination. Does that in any way have any effect on the standard of the awards itself or not?
Well, Cynthia, I can tell you that when we set out to honor South African musicians, we obviously want the best that we have in this country, and we want most of our artists to enter, because there's value in entering the summer and there's bigger value in winning the summer.
Yes. And
even a nomination is really a big deal. So we do set out to attract everyone that has released. And at the end of the day, is the artist's decision to enter or not to enter. But we do, over the years, have experienced a very competitive race. We've had great numbers. The industry has been very positive in responding to our call. Last year, we made history by reaching the highest number of entries ever at over 1,100 entries. We're targeting that, and we're hopeful that we will bypass that mark from last year. So far, it's been very positive and encouraging, and that is why the summers have been going on for 28 years, because the industry embraces the summer and what the summers stand for.
Well, apart from the widespread exposure, of course, is the prize package attractive enough to attract more artists to make their submissions?
I think the biggest part of the prize package, as you put it, is really the acknowledgement that you are doing great. And you can't put a price tag on that. When your country honors you for the work that you do, you can go all over the world and tell them that in South Africa, I am a summer winner. It's bragging rights that money can't buy. But yes, the summers come with a prize package. There is money that our winners pocket. But I think most importantly, the biggest thing is the recognition that the industry, because this is a peer review system, if you like. Our judges are experts in the field. Some of them are music lecturers. Some of them are music compilers. So when people, some of them are musicians themselves and music critics. So when people of that caliber say to you that you're doing well, it's something that you cannot put money on or a prize on.
And unlike the other award ceremonies, the summers have a panel of judges to select the nominees. So what are their judgments based on, and how much of an input or role do judges play insofar as selecting the nominees, and how much of a role do the public, through voting, play in selecting the nominees?
In the album categories, it's wholly, completely up to the judges. They score the music that's presented to them. And we've got a few criteria that we follow. We look at creativity, we look at production values, we look.
Lesley, we're losing you. All right, we seem to have lost Lesley there. He's the spokesperson of the South African Music Awards, and he's been taking us through, some of the criteria that will be applied by the judges in selecting the nominees. And we know that this year, the genre, of course, that will be dominating, of course, is the Amapiano. And I'm going to ask him whether this will be the genre moving forward. Now, please do confirm if you're back with us, Lesley.
I'm here, Simpiwe, thank you.
Okay, yeah, we lost you there for a second. So I want to know what reflections do these awards have?
Apologies on getting cut off. The reflection, you mean in the industry?
In the industry as a whole, yes.
Well, as I said, it's a validation that every artist should aspire for. They do aspire to be summer winners. As I say, these are bragging rights that money can't buy. And it's a reflection on your artistry and acknowledgement on the hard work that you put in. And every artist really should want to be a summer winner. And we've seen that over the years with the support and the number of entries that we've received.
And which genre do you think will dominate? It's been Amapiano over the past few years. Is it different this time around?
Well, we do have a project at the RiSA office that's called the Official South African Charts, or TOSAC, that tells us about the music that's being streamed in South Africa, digital streams. And I can tell you now that since we went live in September 2021, Amapiano has really come on top. So it is kind of expected that we will see a lot of Amapiano dominating. They have their own category. There's Best Amapiano Album, by the way. But let's see what happens in all the other categories and all the other genres. But you rightfully point out that Amapiano made a lot of noise this year. A lot of attention has been put on Amapiano. And we'd like to see how that translates with the summers. I'm hopeful that most of them will enter the summer, and if not all. And then we get a decent number of them competing in these categories that are so prestigious.
Any new categories this year, or will the format remain the same?
Well, we haven't really finalized all of those things. We still have categories that we introduced last year, like Amapiano, Best Amapiano Album, Best Kwaito Album, Best Gqom Album, and Artist of the Year. For now, that's all I can say. That's what we're pushing. We're very excited about those. We'll make announcements as time goes on. Closer to the time, we'll reveal more of the surprises that we have for our followers and supporters this year. It's summer 28, close to summer 30, so we are excited about it.
Right. Yeah. And when do entries close?
The entries close at the end of this month, the 31st of January at midnight. That's the cutoff time. So yeah, please get a move on and submit while you still have time as a musician.
Please take us through the process of submission. How do I go about doing that, or how do artists go about doing that?
Yes, because of the situation that we're in with COVID and everything, and the rules of lockdown, and having to play it safe, the submission process is entirely online on our website, www.samusicawards.co.za. You can download your files there, fill in the form, and pay what you need to pay. And then after that, we've got the vetting process. By the way, before I forget, we also do accept walk-ins at our office in Randburg should you have a problem with network and connectivity and data. As we know, we're in South Africa. So after that, there's a vetting process that goes on. And then after the vetting process, we hand over the entries to the judges, who will then score our entries. And then in April, we'll make an announcement of our final nominees. And then towards the end of May, we're hopeful that we'll host the actual summer event as probably a hybrid event with some people in attendance, and also streaming and broadcast live on SABC.
All right, Lesley, great chatting to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
All the best.
Thank you. That was Lesley Mofokeng sharing more on this year's South African Music Awards entries. And this is one of the efforts to keep the SAMAs relevant and competitive and to ensure that excellence is celebrated and rewarded.